Hey, what up, everybody? This is Josh from Stock Talk with Josh, and
Niko Kritikos.
yeah. So I know it's been a couple months. I think the last episode we did, episode 58, was back in April. So and now we are what's the date? September 18th, 17th, or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. So yeah. I guess welcome back for us. How y'all been doing? Like I said, we didn't really want to take this long of a break from doing the podcast, but some life stuff happened. I've been like losing my mind, and Nico been like
Unfortunately, I've been out of town, so we had to postpone the show.
not really out of town. You moved.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Moved out of town.
Exactly. But yeah, real quick, we just want to do a little life update of what we've been doing now. Main big thing I want to know is when you moving, what did you move for though?
I moved to Nashville, Tennessee to pursue music and see what the opportunities are like. So I got to play lots of gigs on Broadway, got to meet lots of different musicians, did lots of cool stuff, saw lots of cool places, made some money, and I hope to go back. This winter, it's probably going to die down a little bit, so that's part of the reason I came back here. So that the plan is to probably go back some point in next spring. But I do want to go back because Nashville is awesome.
So like every single like weekend or so, you will have like a show or something like that.
I played 2 weeks ago. I played 9 gigs in 1 week.
Hmm.
It was almost every day.
Hmm.
So
Well, yeah, like July, August. That's kind of like the season for all of that. Though.
yeah, yeah. And there's people that do more than that. My friend, he just played yesterday, the day before. He just played 4 gigs in 1 day. So he played 16. He pretty much played 16 hours. He did four 4-hour gigs. So from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. he was playing guitar, which is insane. So, that's the plan. You can make lots of money. I don't know how much money he made, but I'm sure it's at least $500 that day just for playing guitar. So
Yeah. So now to switch that topic off a little bit, how the stock market been for you?
well, I feel like the last couple months, I feel like my portfolio has finally been going up. And I think that's I want to credit that mostly to. Luckily, I forgot. I think this was, I want to say July or something. When we had the market dip a little bit, I think the market dipped the NASDAQ dipped like 10 or 15%. When that happened, I bought a bunch of not only the NASDAQ index fund, but also some other stocks like Microsoft and stuff. When I did that, and then literally I made a video on my channel talking about why this is a good time to buy, that was literally the bottom. That was it. The market dropped 10 or 15%. The next day, the market started recovering, and ever since then, my portfolio has pretty much been going up. And so now on the index, as well as on stocks like Microsoft, I'm up, anywhere from 7% to 10%. And so that definitely boosted my portfolio a lot. At the same time, my portfolio is still struggling with a couple stocks that are pulling it down, like Lululemon and like UPS. But there's some good ones. Nike is up a little bit. Starbucks, I was up 8 or 9%, and I sold that. I've been trying to aim towards selling out some of my stocks and putting it more so into the index fund, and so that's what I'm trying to, adjust my portfolio to.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and for me, it started off like on a high note this year. That's when I think back in January I bought AMD and also Nvidia. So I rolled that up to whenever I sold it, or whenever the big thing was like in about May or April, May, June, something like
NVIDIA?
that. Yeah.
So you probably timed it good then, because I don't think it's reached another high
No,
since then.
that was it. So I saw it around the high this year, and then kind of after that, kind of like fell down a little bit. Like I said, with you, I also bought Lululemon. Nike, I bought instead of it. You bought it like 70 something, right?
75 or 80.
I bought it at 90.
Yeah.
So I'm still down on Nike. So that's probably the big thing. That and Lululemon. But like I said, that one stock I was telling you about too, Rocket Lab. That's I actually just sold this before we started the episode, so I was up 30%. So it's kind of like I've been, I say for the month of July, August, kind of like going down a little bit, but I think past month or so has been going up for me. So
I just feel like I've gone back and forth between the stock picking versus the index thing, and it's just like,
yeah. So you were gotten into the just index fund, just investing into the index.
yeah, I'm trying to get most of my money in there. I'm still mostly cash right now, but I bought a big chunk of the index when it dropped, because I believe the statistic is that on average every 2 years the market drops 10%. Now it's it's weird because the Nasdaq fluctuates more than the S&P. The S&P only dropped like 5%. Then the QQQ actually dropped 15% back in 6 weeks ago. So when stuff like that happens, I'm looking at that like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity because I know if the Nasdaq goes down 15%, this is something that only happens once every 2 to 3 years. And so I saw that. I said, okay, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. Then you also have the fact that in 2022, we had a super bad down market, a bear market. And so that makes me think, okay, stuff like that only happens every, 8 years or 9 years. So I don't think we're going to have another big 25% crash in the market anytime soon. I think it could be another 5 years or something until we see that again. So that's why when I see a 10% dip in the market, I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm going to buy it up right now because I think that's as cheap as you're going to get it for several years.
All right, and mainly, like, what's one thing would you say would be the big difference with investing in the index directly versus just regulating?
Okay, I mean, you know how big I am on trying to pick stocks and how much I'm interested in, how much I want to follow it.
That's why when you tell me, I'm like, oh, this kind of looks different for me.
But with that being said, even though I will study it, I will buy it when the stock drops, I'll make sure the net income is up, I'll make sure the ROI is up, I'll make sure the PE ratio is low. Lululemon's a perfect example. I'll make sure it's a strong brand. Even something like Disney, like Nike, there's all these different strong companies. There's always going to be something that is unpredictable that you don't see coming, and that the market reacts in a weird way where even if things get better or the stock shows some strength, even if the company shows some strength, the stock can still just stay stagnant or keep going down. So there's just so many factors, and sometimes it could take, over a year for that stock to recover. I just got tired of waiting for that. So it's like, I think your best bet is if you want to buy individual companies, if let's say you're buying something like that Rocket Lab, I would make that such a small portion of my portfolio to where I don't really care.
It's 60% of mine.
Yeah, you see that's insane. If you make it 1%, that's not a big deal. 1% of the portfolio or something is not a big deal. But when it's like 5%, 10%, then it's a big deal. So either do that, or I would say like I just bought Microsoft, right? I feel a little bit better with Microsoft because it's one of the biggest, most established companies in the world, and it's a big part of the index funds anyways, or something like Amazon. Even companies like Amazon, though, can still take 6 months or 9 months to recover from their dips. So that's why I'm just like kind of tired of that. I would just say no matter what the company is, I would say you should have the majority of your money in an index fund, and then if you're going to pick individual stocks, keep it to a very small percentage of the portfolio. That would be my ending statement.
All right, so have you already done that yet?
I haven't done it to how much I want to do it. I made a big step in that direction I just bought probably I'm at about 12% of my portfolio is in an index fund right now, 12 or 15% or something.
You want to get it to like 40% maybe?
Yes, at least, if not like 75%.
He said at least like the majority. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like 75% because you want to have, let's say 10%. You want 10 or 15% in cash. I would say 10 or 15% in individual stocks. Then with that other 70%, let's say 75%, that should be in the index fund. That's the way I look at it. Because there's just so many factors with trying to pick individual companies. When you get into an index fund, like right now with me buying into an index fund, I am not even considering having to wait 9 months or a year for the index to recover. When I see the index drop 10%, I'm thinking, okay, either this is going to recover next week or next month or maybe 2 months or something, worst case scenario. So that's why I feel better investing in the index fund.
Okay. But next topic we do, it is the year 2024, and if you live on a rock, this is an election year for.
Wait, before we get to that, I want to ask you what's your plans for stock picking versus index fund investing?
I think I still like the thrill of stock picking.
Yeah, I know. The thrill is fun. I know.
Like it's cool. Like it's kind of like sports betting with me though,
yes.
too, a little bit. I know it's kind of like bad to say, but I kind of like finding a company like Rocket Lab, how you laughed at me, or any type of.
I don't think I laughed at you. I just said it's risky.
I kind of like those picks. I saw you did that one stock analysis of what's that? 2K Interactive.
Yeah,
I told you about it.
Yes.
So I kind of like doing.
That's an interesting one. Somebody commented on that video and said the last Grand Theft Auto that came out, the stock didn't go anywhere. So I feel like that could happen again next year. So it's just stuff. How you said. I would compare.
But also the last GTA games,
Now,
it's been going on for like 12, 13 years. So
yeah, but they're saying when that game came out, the years after, the stock didn't outperform or anything. So again, I think comparing it to sports betting is probably a better comparison. To be honest, that's almost how it is. It's almost that risky.
yeah, and like the market can like I don't know, like you can send a tweet, Elon can send a tweet
exactly.
and everything will change. So it's kind of weird though. But I think it's just for now I kind of like stock picking a little bit more. But I don't know, maybe I get there. I don't think it's a bad idea.
I would say I would say stock picking is okay if you put an extremely small amount of money in those stocks. But for me, when I was like, my entire portfolio was pretty much split up between like, let's say 20 stocks. That was not good. That means 5% of my money is in each one. I say that's too much. That's too much. But anyways, okay, now we can continue on to the election talk.
Yeah, so it is an election year. So I just wanted to ask you, how do
who am I voting for? Nope.
No, how do you think the election is going to affect the market, or will it at all?
Well, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Because the market is, how I just said, it's so unpredictable, and it's like anything that you think makes sense.
I mean,
it's never directly correlated like that. It's never as simple as if this guy is president or if this policy is in place, it's going to directly impact this stock. It normally doesn't work that way.
Yeah, because if you, let's say like this, say you want Trump to win. Mm-hmm. You won money with Trump in the stock market. You definitely made money while Trump was president. Other hand, say if you like Biden or whatever, Kamala, you also made money during them too. So
no, not really.
You didn't?
Well,
you should have invested in Nvidia then.
I know. If we're going to look at it from that perspective, then I would say I would say it's fair to say that during the Trump presidency, now again, though, you can't correlate this directly to the president because there's so many different factors.
Too many factors.
The economy, the interest rates, what the global landscape is like, all those things, because it could. I mean.
But it will affect it, though. It will affect it, but you just don't know how.
But okay, so let's say during Trump's presidency, the stock market was better. Okay? Now, I mean, you'd have to go back and check. I think it's similar. I want to say I want to say the last 4 years have been almost as good as Trump's 4 years. But, again, are we going to give all the
I also think it depends on who you're talking to, too.
No. What do you mean?
I think it depends on who you talk to. I think if somebody bought Tesla when it was cheap and when it blew up during Trump's presidency.
Well,
and now same thing.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
You don't think so?
No, because Tesla's.
It was 2015, right? 2016 when it blew up.
No. What? No.
What year?
No, it didn't. Not even close. It didn't. Tesla stock was not even like a thing until. Like if you bought in 2019, you were still ahead.
2019. Oh, okay.
You were still like, that was a skeptic right there. It wasn't until 2020 that they like started making a profit, and then more people started investing. And
I feel like it was a little.
No, it wasn't. I wasn't buying the stock. I was buying the stock in 2019 for when it was a $30 billion company. Then in 2020 it shot up, and then in 2021 it went to $1,200 a share, and it went to almost $1 trillion market cap. That's when it peaked in 2021. And I think from today's price, that would be a $400 share price for Tesla in 2021. Right now, it's $230 right now, so it's pretty much half of what it was 3 years ago. But anyways, I want to say that during the Trump presidency, the stock market was better. It was definitely more consistent because there was definitely a period of time where it was literally like every month it just kept going up and up and up and up and making new highs. Biden's presidency, it was not as good. Mostly because of 2022, we had this ginormous crash. But again, is that entirely his fault? I don't know. There's a lot of different things you could point to. You could point to the inflation. You could point to recovering from the pandemic. There's the wars. There's all this different stuff. But so, and again, there's cycles. There's cycles in the economy, the credit cycles, the interest rate cycles. So. And how I just said 10 minutes ago, every 8 years or 10 years, we have that big market crash where we get a 20, 30, 40% drop. Yeah. And just like how we had a crash in 2000, we had a crash in 2008, and then we had one of the longest bull runs, and we didn't have our crash until
2020.
I guess you could say 2020, even though that wasn't a real crash because it literally lasted a month, and it was because of a pandemic, not the economy. But then we have 2022 was, I think, our real crash. That's when there was recession talks and stuff. So that's not Biden's fault that he happened to be president during our every 8 years we have our recession or our drop in the market. So there's all those different things. So I mean, you could point to certain things though. You're going to point to the interest rates. You're going to point to inflation. Inflation definitely plays a part. There's just so many things. They say, Trump's going to spend more on the military spending, so that could affect certain stocks. There's so many things. There's the gun policies. There's the what's it called? The semiconductor chip policies. There's so many things. There's the tariffs. The Chinese tariffs definitely play a part. There's just too much. There's too much to account for.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I think it's the same thing. Like, it's kind of hard to decipher, but it is going to affect it somehow. We just don't know how. Like I said, Elon can make a tweet today. Tesla stock can go up or go down.
And then whatever. I mean, you could say that. Let's say Kamala. I'm still getting used to saying Kamala because I was so used to calling her Kamala. But okay, I would say let's say Kamala says we're gonna put some, what's it called, subsidies or
to like a particular
like an EV credit or something, a tax credit for something like that. Then that would affect the stocks. I mean, you would think, right? But I mean, those things like that they're normally either short-lived or they're not substantial enough to actually keep the stock going up.
True.
Like if that helped out Tesla stock for a week, some other news will come out and it'll push it back down, or there's all these different things. So it's impossible to judge, really.
All right. And now let's go on to the breaking news. So I feel like we've been talking about this for like the past 5 episodes of when they're going to do this.
Months we've been talking about this because the Fed has been talking about it for months.
True.
We've been talking about this since
at least last year.
2023. Because literally last year, this is almost a year ago, they were literally saying we're planning for January or February of 2024. It's coming.
And then they
pushed
it to March.
Then it kept going. Then it was June.
Yeah.
Now it's September. We finally get it. I'm excited.
Yeah. So the Fed meeting just actually took place a couple hours ago.
I know, this is perfect timing.
I know. On Wednesday, we actually asked, are they cutting rates or nah? But they ended up doing it.
In the last couple of weeks, I remember seeing, like, just watching videos and reading about this upcoming Fed meeting, and I think most people were like very confident that they were saying it is going to be a 25 basis point cut because 50 basis points.
A lot of big banks were saying that too.
50 basis points would be too aggressive. That was like the general consensus. Like people were pretty confident in expecting that the Fed was not going to cut 50 basis points because that would be too aggressive of a cut, and they would only do that in an extreme situation. But I don't see, especially this is their first cut. If the next cut is 50 basis points, then it's starting to look more extreme.
Well, I'll read this real quick. Go ahead. This real quick. So the Federal Reserve slashed interest rates by 0.5 percentage point Wednesday and charted a course for 2 additional cuts this year, followed by 4 more in 2025.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know how much the rest of them going to be, but we do now. This was.
It would have to be a quarter.
Probably.
It would have to be. It has to be 25. 0.25%. I just feel like we've had these high.
And that 50 points off cuts it to like a 4.
It's a range now.
Yeah,
it was
4.75 to like 5%.
No, was it?
It's like 6%. 6%.
No, I want to say it was 5.25% to 5.75%.
Yeah.
Now it's
4.75 to 5%.
No, 4.75 to 5.25%.
5%. 7.5 to 5%.
Oh, maybe you're right. Okay, I guess so. Okay, 4.75 to 5%.
And it's actually been held like that. The rates, it's saying rates have previously been held at a 23-year high since July 20.
I just feel like if for several years before this, before 2022, we were at close to 0% for a while, and then the way they jumped us up to over 5% these last 2 years,
it was quick. It was
quick, and it's like if we drop 50 basis points now, is that really going to have that bad of an effect on the economy? Like, I think we can handle that. I mean, and how you said how it's gonna affect home prices and stuff.
Yeah, home prices about to go up.
Yeah, and so
I mean, it's gonna be easier to get a loan. Rates gonna be down, so it's gonna be a good thing. So, but it is gonna affect the housing market. I definitely see.
And I mean, it should help. It should help like car sales and
too,
and home sales and all that stuff.
Rent probably should go down too.
What should?
Rent.
Yeah, that would be nice. That'd be really nice.
Rent go down, price of the house go up. Or maybe rent goes up too. Who knows?
I would think rent is correlated with
I would think so too. I don't know.
the home price. I don't know. I'm not a home expert.
Yeah, but yeah, I like it. I still think it's kind of. I thought it was gonna be a little high. I was gonna be like 25.
I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it.
I am excited for it. I'm excited.
I want to see it have a positive effect on the stock market.
I feel like this is the big news that we should talk about more than the election. For real.
I know.
I feel like this should be on the news.
Well, and that's the other thing is are they doing this to help out Kamala?
I mean, no. I think it was just time for it. Like I said, we've been talking now for a whole year.
Well, it's because the inflation has come down.
Yeah, so they did a good job with inflation. So I will say we were, even myself, everyone just about was really mad how the rates had went up.
Well, it's the prices of things are still bad. They just aren't growing bad as they were. That's all it is.
Yeah, the price is still going to be the same, but the interest rate is going to be a little bit lower, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited for this. I think this is a good thing. The only thing, and that's it here. This is another reason why I said I wanted to buy more of the index fund, because since we knew this was going to happen at some point this year, I said, okay, so literally 80% and 70% of my money this year, at least the past year, has been in my brokerage accounts, earning 5% interest and getting paid out monthly, right? Mm-hmm. So now that I knew this drop was coming, it's going to slow, and the way this affects the bond market and stuff, this is slowly going to start making people want to push their money more so into higher yielding assets like the stock market. And so that was the other thing. Now Robinhood and Fidelity and stuff is probably, they're going to drop their interest rate payments probably down to 4.5% instead of 5%. So I was kind of expecting that, and that's why I was thinking, I was like, okay, it's time to move into a different, start moving it into stocks or the index fund, because
it's gonna be real nice too if you just graduated college or going to college, trying to get a home. Now the college loan rate pretty low though too. Plus also this, so that's a pretty good thing too.
So, yeah, I think it's good. You just got to, you just got to know how to like react to it and where to put your money when this interest rate thing starts going down. Because before, it made no sense to keep your money in cash and earn 0%. But the last year or two, earning 5% of your money risk-free was pretty good, a pretty attractive investment. But now, if we go down to 4% and then 3% and then 2%, well, now it doesn't make much sense to keep your money in cash, and so therefore you want to put your money into some other asset like stocks. What do we got?
I feel like I said something else too besides the house price going up.
I forgot. I mean, the main things are things people borrow money for, like cars and houses. And
they can refinance now.
They can refinance, yeah.
Might be a good time to refinance. If you locked in a house like 2021, 2022, or even last year, really, good time to refinance. Like you into something else. Should be able to. And, so the next topic. So, new iPhone. So, I know I definitely got an iPhone. I actually have this MacBook right here, so another Apple product. Got an Apple Watch. I want an iPad. So, I'm kind of excited for you. Kind of excited for a new phone?
Nope, not interested at all. You know what I am excited for? Getting maybe a new battery in my phone. Even though my iPhone battery says it's working at 87% efficiency, but my phone is like not work. It's barely 2 years old, I think. Doesn't charge the same, and the battery dies out.
The battery is terrible for my iPhone 12.
Yeah, you see, so it's like a scam. It's like a scam.
You think it's a scam?
It's a scam. Because why is it happening?
I don't know.
Because they want you to buy this new one. I don't want to buy the new one.
I mean, I will say that is like how technology is supposed to be.
No, it's not.
I mean, over the time you get something new.
No.
I mean, you got
maybe, but I don't know if I buy that.
You got something.
My Surface Book is over 5 years old. My Surface Book, my Microsoft laptop works fine.
This is about 4 years old. This works okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know if I buy that.
But yeah, like I said, I'm not sure. No, it's not 90 big details. I know they came out with a new iOS 18 update.
From what I saw recently, it looks like there's not a lot of pre-orders for the iPhone, and that it doesn't look good. It doesn't look like they're making a lot of sales.
And you know what's crazy? I have the 15 Pro Max. Supposedly they're gonna stop selling the Pro Maxes. So for like the new 16s, they don't have a Pro Max version. It's just the 16 Pro. So it's kind of weird. I know one thing that Apple was trying to do for like the 12 or 13, they used to have like a 12 mini, iPhone 12 mini. So like if you don't really pay attention, but Apple does have like over the years, they have like different sizes for the phone. So you remember when people used to walk around with the big phones, like the iPhone 6 used to be that like the 6 Plus phone or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's crazy like how I think it's probably like they just notice like what people like.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
It's either like a little smaller phone or a bigger phone like that. So I think that's probably why they got rid of the Pro Max, but I don't know.
Yep.
I used to have like the regular 12, and I used to never drop it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I got like big hands, but it used to fit perfectly. So I get the 15 Pro Max. I think I got it like in February or March, something like that.
Well, I was gonna say
The amount of times I've dropped this phone compared to my 12 is like double the amount.
Really?
Like at least 3-4 times.
Really?
And I had the 12 for like 3 years. I'll probably
Why?
Because
you're saying this one's smaller?
No, this one's like bigger. Like it's like
it's
weird
bigger?
for my like in your pocket too. It's like it's weird. I
Yeah.
always drop this phone.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, some of the ones I made, it was so big. I was like, why would you want it that big?
Yeah, I know. Like I said, some people kind of like those big phones. I don't know why though.
I guess the screen's big. That part's good. But I mean, as far as
For older
holding,
people.
as far as as far as holding it and carrying it around, why would you want a screen that's bigger than your hand? It's weird.
But yeah, like that's the biggest thing I was seeing. Like they might discontinue the 15 Pro Max. They won't be able to buy it at Apple Store. But I don't know.
What else we got?
Yeah, the next thing on the list though, Chick-fil-A. So,
Interesting. I like Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, but it's gonna be a little weird. Chick-fil-A launching a new streaming service. So
Streaming service?
Yep,
like
so
where you
kinda
watch
like Netflix,
shows at their restaurant?
Max,
What?
all of that.
No.
I swear to God.
Are you did you mean to say a delivery service?
No, streaming service.
Why would Chick-fil-A make a streaming service?
That I don't know.
I don't believe it.
Like it's weird, but it's not. Like I understand as a company, you do have to branch out.
It's probably going to
do
be
bigger things.
it's probably going to be like a Christian show or something.
No. Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
They are not. Chick-fil-A is not making a streaming
Chick-fil-A
service.
hatches plans for a streaming service. I like that hatch plan thing, like chicken.
Oh my god.
Hatches plans,
so stupid.
but streaming service as reality TV comes home to roost. So it's gonna
Don't
be
we
more
have
so
enough
like
streaming services? What do we got? 80 different streaming
We have
services?
too many. You know what's crazy? How streaming service just turned into like regular cable.
Yeah, and how it's no
It
cheaper.
turned into like online cable for real.
Okay, let me see. What's going to be on Chick-fil-A streaming service? Deadline understands that the fast food firm has been working with a number of production companies to create family-friendly shows in the unscripted space. It also is in talks to license and acquire content. We hear that this includes a family-friendly game show from Glassman Media, the company behind NBC's The Wall and Micro Sugars. That is so weird. That's like confusing, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it kind of makes sense. Like I was saying, company has to expand, but it is weird. I think we have too many.
That's normally not a way you would expand, though.
Yeah, I think we have too many streaming services.
We do. We definitely do. That's a weird way to expand.
Yeah, like I don't watch TV as much as like most people though. I think I'm just like a regular YouTube person.
Yeah,
maybe.
me too. I watch mostly YouTube. Lately, I've been watching horror movies on streaming services, but that's it.
Yeah, horror movies. I've been watching a lot of Paramount Plus.
Speaking of Netflix needs to add more to their streaming service
So?
as far as horror movies go.
Oh, horror movies.
They don't have a lot.
Netflix has like I think the most out of just about everyone, like catalog wise. I think.
Okay, but Amazon has more. Amazon has a better.
I don't watch
movie
Amazon
section.
as much.
Yeah.
I think last thing I watched on Amazon was like a Batman show.
Yeah.
That just came out though. But no, the Netflix still on top. I don't know what they are stock.
I think their stock's been doing good.
Yeah, see, we can look that up real quick. But I think the Netflix, like I said, still up top.
Yeah.
I know. Max
you know what's funny? I checked this morning that the Donald Trump stock is at a 1-year low now. This is the lowest it's been in over a year.
I saw that article.
Yeah. I think after the debate came out that one day, his stock dropped like 16% that day.
Yeah, that was a bad debate.
That killed him. Okay, Netflix in the last year is up 73%.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's it?
That's a lot for the last year.
Yeah, that is.
How you guys doing?
What's up, Jim?
We're doing all right.
Mind if I sit with you for a second?
Yeah. Actually, I texted Josh today.
You did.
And I texted Josh. I said, is Jim going to be there? I said, we should have him on the show today. We've never had him. This would be perfect.
You know, it's...
And look at that. I manifested it into reality.
You know, you're talking about Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm.
and their library and what how they make their money and stuff. Did you see that they're going to the cheaper ad options now?
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah.
I like that.
What do you mean they have the option to
No
pretty much
ads
pay
and
less?
yeah.
You could pay less to include ads in the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
okay.
also got like a no ad version, but like a cheaper ad version is gonna be like a little bit like 2 or 3 more than like the
Okay.
regular cheap version. But I'll only give you like 1 ad instead.
I thought it
of
was like $8 a month if you wanted ads, and like $16 a month with no ads.
That sounds about right.
Something like that.
And
right?
but there's a writer of I think Chris Anderson, I think is his name. He wrote a book called The Long Tail, and then he wrote a book called Free: The Radical Pricing of Free or whatever it is. And his theory is that eventually everybody's that the internet is making everything so it's got to be free eventually. I mean, think about it. When you're dinking around the internet and you click on an article or something, you're not going to go and pay to the Wall Street Journal. You're just not going to do it, right? And so he wrote a book about how it's slowly making everything free.
Yeah.
That people don't mind watching ads or I mean,
I definitely mind.
I mind too. Would you pay? All right, so there's the question. Would you pay $17 a month for Netflix with no ads, or would you pay $8 with
Right.
4 minutes an hour?
How much can they get away with upping that price? Yeah.
But I will say they've been up 73%, so it's been working out for them. So I personally wouldn't do it because I don't watch Netflix as much, but I do pay for YouTube Premium.
But see,
So
I feel like that's one of the main reasons that, like, okay, with cable TV, remember when they started where you could fast forward and you could like record stuff and fast forward through the commercials? Then they had Netflix where there was no commercials. That was part of that's what made that attractive in the beginning. So I don't know. I think most people would not want ads. That would be my guess, at least.
Wrong.
No, really?
So the fastest growing, and that applies to us here, is Josh goes and he does the games now, right? We're getting 5 to 10 times more people who watch us now, and you can feel it. I mean, Josh and I were here when we were streaming behind a paywall, and people would, we get like 50 or 60 people watching a game. There were people just watching some of those regular Griffith games and so forth. We might get 1,000 people throughout the night to watch it. We would rarely go over 100 because it was behind a paywall.
Because you had to pay, yeah.
Because you had to pay. So now it's a much better, I guess. Really, what it has done is they've gone retro. Think about it. I mean, Josh started here, and we're all radio, and he learns all about radio. Radio's just all free all day. And then
because there's ads.
We got to go sell ads.
Yeah.
Well, we already knew how to do that. We already knew how to, just make the TV free and we'll go sell ads. I mean, that's what we did one day. But the market is shifting out of subscription TV to what they call free ad-supported streaming television, FAST.
Where you're the product.
Really, a lot of times where you're the product.
Yes.
That's a very good
way. Okay,
way.
well, you know what's weird? You know what I just thought of? I have people in my family who they would rather watch the commercials because they like watching commercials for some reason. And I don't understand it at all, but there's some people that they actually like watching commercials.
I think it's just personally us, though, because even look at what's that one streaming service that's really popular? Tubi.
Yeah.
Hulu
yes.
or
Tubi.
Yes.
Tubi,
yeah.
They have
Tubi.
a ton of commercials.
All commercials.
Yeah, but so it's up, how many minutes an hour are you going to put in, right?
Tubi has a lot.
There are a lot.
Yeah,
it's like if you watch, like, say, one of these news channels like Fox or CNN or MSNBC, they're like going up like 15 minutes an hour of commercials.
Yeah.
That's a lot of commercials. And then they'll sneak some in because it used to be that the legal limit for radio, and I think it still is, you can only do 15 minutes an hour.
Okay, when I was a kid and I used to watch TV, I want to say an hour-long show would be 15 minutes of commercials. I think that's what
Basically,
it was back then.
That's what it still is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when you go to cable, they, I think Netflix is around 4 minutes an hour at the middle range one. Mm-hmm. But eventually they're probably going to have to offer it for free with, maybe 10 minutes an hour, and that would cover the cost.
So my question would be, is Netflix making less money now that they have to do that?
Let me see.
Or by
there you go.
or by
Hold on a second. Does he know how? I mean, does he know how to read the balance sheet and all that stuff?
I'm about to pull it.
Who, Niko?
No,
Josh?
Podry.
That's a great question.
That's what I was about to pull it.
I'd like to know that too.
What's Netflix's? All right, let's do this. What's Netflix's market cap? Do you know what that is?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't think we would. Even if you looked at the balance sheet and like the income statement, you probably still couldn't tell exactly if. I don't know. I don't know if they. I don't
you
know
still
if
have
report,
because you have to check on their spending though too.
Yeah, I mean, what's their market cap? It's got to be in the billions.
Market cap $303 billion.
$303 billion. And what? I mean, where were they? Do you have a chart of their market cap or their stock price?
How I said this, the stock's up 73% on the year.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's so many different factors. Okay, let's go to the financial statement. I mean, I'm sure there's so many different things. I mean, are they growing users? I would think they're growing users.
I mean, they're not getting them in America. They're getting them elsewhere, right? So okay. I think what happened with Netflix is once they switched over to the, ad-supported network part, they were able to get more money coming in. They were able to buy better content. I mean, there's some really good stuff on there. I'm going to go home tonight and watch Whitey Bulger's movie on Netflix. That's good stuff.
So in 2023, they did $33 billion of revenue. This year so far, they've done $36 billion of revenue.
All right, where do you think the jump is from? Subscription?
It's not, though, because that's why about a year ago, the stock dropped huge. The stock literally went down to right now it's almost $700. It went down to $200. I remember because I bought it and then I got scared and sold it. But it dropped because they lost so many subscribers. They reported one quarter where they lost a couple million subscribers. And then after that, they decided, then they said, now we're going to do that ad-supported tier.
So all these guys that have been trying to grab market share, Disney, that guy that went to Hammond Clark, he was the CEO. He basically lost his job because Disney Plus did do. Yeah. This is a podcast. But we're live on the air, right?
No, just.
All right. Well, I won't swear anyways because you guys will cut it up. But he lost it because they were losing so much money on Disney Plus. They lost like billions of dollars on that.
And they still are too.
And they still are.
Yeah.
So I never, what we're doing. We said we're not gonna. Here's what's happening in high school sports. All these people are making all this money on like big sports, on NFL, NCAA, and all that stuff. Now they're going to start coming to the high schools because they can't pay. They can't pay more money. $5 billion to buy Big Ten rights is only there's only a few people that could do it. So now you've got other broadcasting companies and other advertisers that are looking for the next market. Well, they start looking at smaller colleges, which have gotten huge. You can watch Southern Connecticut State every Saturday. Why? Because it's on ESPN Plus, right? Yeah. And the high school games, they're getting more and more views. Josh produces, and you could feel it. People are watching them. They're in bars now.
Yeah.
So now the advertisers are coming, but the streamers are coming. ESPN3 is coming into the high schools, and so is NBC, and so is CBS.
Yeah.
So when we do it, what they're doing is they're like, all right, send us all your content, and we'll sell a subscription, and we'll give you a little bit of money. So what we're doing is we're like, you know what? We only know how to do radio that's free. We're just going to do it the other way. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way where we'd make it free and we have to go out and sell ads. That, it turns out, was a stumble, and now FAST, free ad-supported TV, is rising at about 20% a year. We had no idea that was the case, but we can certainly feel it because now advertisers are talking to us. So the same thing happened at the macro level. When Netflix 5 years ago, you didn't see an ad, nothing. There was not anywhere. There wasn't any graphics on their ad. But now they're all over the place.
But that was before there was all this competition. The competition didn't come till like the pandemic time.
Yes.
And then once all those competitors came, they had what's it called? Ad tiers. Like Disney, I think Disney originally started with an ad tier. They didn't?
Disney Plus was all free. No ads.
No, that's what
it was ad free, but you had to buy it.
Okay.
No, in the beginning when they were trying to get people to watch it,
Yeah, it was no ads. Yeah,
no ads and all free.
Yeah.
They
They
lost
changed it like a year. Or
Yeah, they
maybe
lost
like a year or so after.
a
But
lot of money.
I think because of that competition of the other streaming services, that led to Netflix losing subscribers, and then Netflix decided, okay, now let's try doing the ad tier thing to get people back. And I think it's working.
Yeah, but the largest ad tier ones, those are the ones that are growing the quickest, like the Hulu ad premium and the Tubi. Tubi was just a nothing 4 or 5 years ago. It has more views now in some months, not every month, than Disney. Can you imagine that? I mean, they're just a little company that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. So I think what it comes down to is people don't mind watching a few ads if they can pay less. That's what's going on there.
Yeah,
By the way, so how long have you guys been doing this show?
Too long. How long? Like 3 years?
End of 20. No, longer than that. End of 2020.
So is
We might be coming off
This is year 4.
is this on Apple and Spotify?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
YouTube too. Yep.
It is?
Mhm.
All right, good, because we're starting to get more podcasts, and we're going to aggregate them into our own podcast page.
That's cool.
Is Anderson still doing his show on Tuesday nights?
You
don't know, do you?
I think Bob, because I think Bob was sick for a little bit.
Yeah, he was. Hey, what are you studying over there?
Who, me?
Me or him?
You.
Oh, I'm going to, I went back to computer technology.
So you're not going for the MBA?
I'm not.
You think you will eventually?
Maybe a little later on. Maybe later on.
What about you?
I'm not going to school.
What are you doing?
I moved back from Nashville 3 days ago, and now I got to figure out a new plan.
Oh, wait a second. So one door closes, another opens, right?
Well, I hope so.
So you know what?
I haven't found the door yet, but I hope there's a.
Oh heck, I've done that so many times in my life when I was younger. Like, oh, what are you doing now? Well, I'm not really sure. I'll just kind of see what happens. Go like this. You put your finger in the see which way the wind's blowing. Maybe I'll go with that way.
Yeah.
So you're at that point right now.
Yes. Yes.
It's not a bad spot to be, other than maybe sometimes your parents or they might ride you a little bit.
No. My mom, she doesn't care. I can live at her house forever.
So what are you gonna do next?
I got to find a job, and then I want to find a way to go back to Nashville, probably sometime early next year, and I just need to make money a different way than just music. Like, I want to have both. So I need to have another way to make money, and then go to Nashville, and then go back to doing music.
What about your rides?
Oh, that's a long story.
I kind of stopped that. Although I was thinking about, like, this week, I was thinking about bringing that back. I haven't I don't know yet. I started a new page too that I want to try, which is pretty much like a stock market, like pretty much just educating people on the stock market and how it works and how you even get started with it. So that's the other thing I would like to try too. But that's it.
What about you, Beaudry? You going to school? Are you working?
I quit Best Buy.
I know. I heard you were there. I heard you were really good though.
I was losing my mind, but it was okay. And then just here.
So are you you want to get a master's basically in technology? Why?
I think I don't know. I think it's like the right field, and I just kind of want to be, because I'm kind of like already here. I know I do production truck pretty easily. Even at Best Buy, I've been helping people out with their computer, so it's like kind of easy though.
So you can do production truck. Do you have any experience with Masterplay?
Masterplay, yeah. I used to be able to be.
So when Sonny got hired by Big Ten Network, I think that was a big factor, is knowing how to program and to direct the different streams to the different places. You don't realize how deep of a niche knowledge that is.
True.
I mean, if you combine that with, just general technology, so I would make sure that you learn that a little bit more heavily. So in terms of, you guys probably that are listening, I'm the owner here and so forth. Beaudry is an excellent producer of sports.
I'm okay.
No, he's
I'm okay.
These guys love working with him because, he's easy to work with and, he's got the right attitude, but you got to really have your technological game down to do that high-level replays, putting graphics in, playing the spots, adjusting the audios. It's really kind of a two-person job. We make it a one-person job. That person has to be at the top level.
Yeah.
And he's being humble about it, but there's got to be something with the technology and the production and the streaming video that makes you very employable.
Well, I mean, he also does a great job with this podcast, too. Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have this podcast.
That's right, man.
Who's going to edit it and record it and do all that stuff?
Hey, you know what? Thanks for letting me come in and sit with you guys. But I got to go. Today's my day off. Can you tell? I just played 18 holes. So I appreciate it.
Well, we're happy
today
you
is
came
Thursday.
on.
No, today's
Wednesday.
I take off Wednesdays, and it's pretty nice. I really enjoy listening to you guys. I know that you took a little time off while you were
4 months.
Yeah, 4 months.
Yeah, when he was in
and that's all
Nashville.
on. That's all on Niko, by the way. I know that.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
It is on you. You know what? I want you guys to look at the different companies that are involved in streaming video, because I think that I mean, obviously we've bet heavily in on it too, with people like Josh, and we got a lot of talent around here, and there's some major growth opportunities. But the biggest debate in the industry is whether you should charge for it, the person to watch, or you should charge the business to support that content.
I just watched an interview yesterday with these guys who have like an online media company. Like they make YouTube and they have like 1 million followers. They said that trying to have a media platform that runs just off of ads does not work.
That is exactly what everyone says. Okay? And then Tubi came along, and now they're bigger than Disney, right? Because there are so many people that raised a lot of money out of Silicon Valley to say, hey, we'll go into the middle of the country and everywhere else, and we'll get our games, and they'll give them to us, and we'll sell subscriptions on them.
Yeah.
And similar, hey, I'll tell you what, we'll sell subscriptions to everybody, and then we'll go and we'll buy movies from production companies and series and all that, and we'll make the spread. We'll sell the subscriptions, 30 million subscriptions. We'll pay these people for their content, and we'll make this many billions of dollars over the years. Then the people started disrupting that market. That's why Netflix is down 33 to 30 million subscribers, partly because people are moving to that free model.
Right.
It disrupts everything. It would be so nice if you could just make everyone pay, right? That would be the right way to make money.
But does that work for the company, though? From a company's perspective, is that profitable enough to keep that going?
Well, ask yourself this. We've been doing radio for 100 years. 100 years of free content streamed all day long, 24/7. Now, radio's not a growth industry, but it certainly has held its own for the last 20 years. It basically puts along at about 3% a year. Newspapers are down, 90%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the question is, can you sell enough ads to outweigh the costs, all your costs?
Okay, look at YouTube. YouTube is probably the biggest one, and they probably make billions and billions of dollars. Now, YouTube, you can pay for a monthly subscription for no ads like I do.
Yeah,
but most people probably don't do that. Most people probably just watch the ads, and that's how YouTube makes money.
Yeah. So it gets even worse than that. Think about it. Everybody gives free content to YouTube. They give free content to Facebook.
Yeah.
And then Facebook just repackages it and lets you watch other people's content or crisscross it. So, I mean, just from being in the business, I'm a little wary of social media always being able to do that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But still,
They're taking all your content. What if somebody comes up with ways that takes the content? TikTok obviously disrupted everything, right?
Yeah.
Even Instagram. But there are other ways. I don't know. I think that Facebook and Instagram and X and Trump Social, I think their shelf life is limited. But that's just me here talking in 2024. I'm out, guys. Thanks a lot, man.
Appreciate you, Jim. Yeah, that's crazy. He did just bring him up, too. I thought he was
right?
I thought he worked this morning, so I thought he's probably going to be asleep somewhere. But yeah,
I think we got one more conversation topic here.
Yeah, so real quick, I still want to stay on the streaming services real quick. So we already talked about Netflix, Tubi, and all of that. How you doing? So my favorite one when it first came out was HBO Max or just Max.
Mm-hmm.
Max, I think, has been kind of going down. I think the main big thing is, with the Game of Thrones show, it was kind of like a lot of people liked the first season. The second season kind of like fell off a little bit from what they were kind of expected, but
I haven't checked HBO or Paramount, to be honest.
Yeah, like I said, I think I'm just the wrong person for like these streaming conversations. Because like I said, I really don't.
We got to get Walter in here.
Walter be a good one. Like he loves movies, TVs, and everything like that. So that's the one thing.
Walter lives in North Carolina though, so we can't get him on.
He moved already.
He moved. He's in North Carolina.
Shout out to him. Oh, you got one last thing though too.
One last thing, right? The Chipotle robot. I brought this up probably 6 months ago because they talked about it, but now it looks like they're actually going to start putting it into the restaurants.
Oh, that's kind of like the McDonald's thing with the robotic.
I think it
server,
pretty much makes the food, makes the bowl by itself.
Oh, okay, I got you. I don't know if I like that. Because, Chipotle kind of already skimmish with the meat and the rice.
I know, right?
The
maybe the robot will give you one more.
Nah, the robot's going to give you less.
No, the people at Chipotle nowadays, when they give you a spoonful, it's like they try to give you as little as possible. I don't understand what happened.
Yeah, speaking of Chipotle, I think we both bought Chipotle.
Yeah, we did.
What did you?
I wouldn't call mine a position, though. Mine's more like sometimes I'll just buy just a little bit just so I can watch it, just so it's on my watch list.
Yeah, you
like
intrigued about it.
Yeah, I like getting notifications when it goes up a couple 5% or whatever.
Yeah, I'm up 6%. I bought it at 53%. I think last month, was it last month when it dropped?
I mean, to be honest, the scary thing about Chipotle is, one, yes, their service is going down, and the stock trades at a huge PE ratio, so it's already kind of risky. But they are building locations really fast.
They are.
There's constantly new locations coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the good thing, I guess.
I wish Portillo's was a public traded place.
It is.
It is?
PTLO.
Oh, you know what? I remember
I
that.
wouldn't buy it, though. The stock has been awful since it's come out.
Oh, yeah, no, never mind.
I think it's because Portillo's doesn't I want to say they're not growing. I think they just haven't been able to grow the last couple of years. Or they're not profitable either. I'm telling you, those like restaurant stocks like that, they're like lucky to profit 5% on the bottom line.
Yeah, it's crazy how like with the restaurants, like the fast food places.
All right, let's see. Here's the last 5 years. 2021, the stock was
when it first came out. Yeah,
it was $47. Today it's $13. It's literally been $13 for over 2 years now. And let's see, that's because what are they doing for EPS? 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. No growth. There's no growth.
No growth.
Revenue growth is next year they're supposed to grow 11%, but
what did I do this year so far?
This year they're expected to grow 6%. So let's see. We got
slight growth, but still.
So 2020 they did $450 million. Next year $530, $587, $679, and $700. So they're growing, just not a lot.
That just seems like a company that should never been that high when it came out.
Right.
Like I see at the most like 25 maybe.
The premiums on this has been high, and I remember making a video. People said, "Oh well, they have lines out the door at every single location." I'm like, "Yeah, they do, but I mean, they're selling a hot dog and they're probably profiting 10 cents."
But then you look at Wingstop. Wingstop, I was just.
I know. I don't know what the heck happened there.
Wingstop just sells wings and fries.
Right. So their margins are probably not super high.
But you know the one thing about Wingstop that I think kind of factors that's into it, they always release like a new flavor. So the new flavor gets people hyped. But that's
now look at Wingstop's growth. Last year, 2.4 EPS. This year, 3.7. Next year, 4.6. This year, they're expected to grow 35% revenue growth. That's crazy. Now, that's either It's not like they came out with a new flavor and then they just suddenly made an extra $300 million.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's locations. I think it comes back to locations.
Could be locations too. Yeah, Portillo's. They did start building some more, but they are.
But look how insane this is. Forward PE of 90, and it was 120 last quarter. That's insane. I would not buy that stock under any circumstances.
Yeah, no, when I first saw that it was high, I was like,
how's Celsius doing? Celsius was another one that was trading at insane premiums. Again, because it was. Oh, this is looking bad. This is looking real bad.
30. Yeah.
This stock was $90 this year. Now it's $30. How's the growth on Celsius? Yeah, they're growing at 10% now. Okay, I think that's a wrap for today.
Yeah, you got anything else to add?
That's it.
Anything particularly looking to buy or?
Yeah, more of the index when it
more
drops.
More the index. Okay. I don't know. I'm still looking at the 2K interactive game. I'm still looking at that.
No,
Why not?
just buy the index. Come on,
I can't just look at it.
don't even look at it because then you might think about buying it.
Oh man.
Buy the index. You can't beat the index.
I mean, you could buy Meta.
You could buy Meta. I sold most of my Meta. I sold almost all of it because Meta's at 530. Right. I think Meta could keep going. Meta's at 530.
Meta could go to like 7, I think.
I don't know about 7, maybe not anytime soon. I could see Meta going to 6 in the next couple months. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. But even if that happens,
I think by next year, I'm doing prediction. By next year, being a 7, low 7s.
no, that's literally hundreds of billion. That'd be that's adding $300 billion of market. That's insane. If it goes to 6, let's say in the next couple months, it will come back down to this price at some point. We'll see 530 again. That's why I'm okay with selling at this price. Because we're not just going to go shoot up to 7 and then never come back to this range. It'll come back. Look at what Meta did the last couple of years. Meta went from what?
From 90 something, 98.
Right.
2022.
It went down to the 90s.
Yeah, it was like 98 in 2000.
So if it can go from 400 to 100, we can sure go from 600 to 500 or something. So.
You buying Apple?
No, I will not.
That'd be great if
that's all for today. Thank you for watching Stock Talk 59.
Yeah, and Nike real quick before we leave, please go up. I'm still down. Like 120, Nike goes to 120, I think I'd be good.
Yeah.
I think I'm selling. I think 120 is a good price. 110, 120 range.
What is it, 85 right now?
I think it's less than that. I think it's like 81, 82.
I would sell it at 100, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like
For
quick
real.
money. I like quick money.
Yeah, me too.
I
like quick money.
I think that aiming for 30%, maybe even 25, 30% or so on a stock is a good place. That's where you want to get in and out. You want to get in for a couple of months, get out, make your 30% and leave. If you can sit around, sometimes you do make 60%, 80%, like on Adobe or Meta. These stocks will go up 100% or something in a year. But most of the time, that's not going to happen. Most of the time, you're going to get quick fluctuations. 30% is super common. So you just ride out those 30% moves, you get in and out, and you're done.
Yeah.
But sometimes, that's what I was trying to do with Lululemon. Look what happened there. The stock went down.
How much are you down on Lululemon?
32%.
Me too.
Yeah, you see. And Lululemon was already down a lot. But a stock like that, it's like, I don't know, people, that's an expensive like luxury brand. All it takes is for them to, people not want to buy their stuff anymore, and then they're that's why the stock drops so much.
They need to do a partnership with like Kim Kardashian or skin
Yeah,
line
they
or something
do.
like that.
They do.
Save it or something. Please save my money. But yeah, that's it for episode 59. Thank y'all for tuning in. Listen, thank you for Jim for being our quick guest of the show. And you got anything else to add, though?
Nope.
All right, but y'all have a good one. This is Josh signing out to y'all, and to greener days ahead. Bye-bye.
Oh yeah.